Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to cover a very practical and useful topic. So let's dive right into it. I am going to talk about the 5 official plan maps that could tell us the most about a site and its potential. To make everyone's lives much easier, we actually have direct links on our website to each of the maps and some guidelines. I'll tell you a secret, I actually did it for myself. I was tired of not finding the right document and I wanted one source where I could have it all in one place. So I figured I'm probably not the only one struggling with it. And let me show you where you can find it. So here, if you go to our website, smartdensity.com, and here it is, under development planning, there's feasibility DIY. And here are all the links that you might need, and they are direct links to the official plan, directly to the city's website. So if I click here, for example, map 2 structure map, you can see how it links directly to the structure map of the city. So let's go one by one. So the first map I want to talk about is the land use map, and it's probably the most important map in the official plan. With the land use map, not only that you could understand where the city anticipates growth overall, it's really important to understand not only the land use of the site that you're currently looking at, but also its context, because that will affect build form, height, urban design, and what is expected from this site. I will probably have a separate video just talking about the land use map because there's a lot to cover, but we already know the difference between the yellow and the pink, hence between the neighborhoods and mixed use. And the land use map is the first thing you should look up. The second map is the secondary plan map, and it's really important to understand if the site or the area that you're looking at has a secondary plan. The secondary plan is kind of a secondary layer of the official plan, if you will. It has it applies to areas that have that are expected to experience major redevelopment or has a certain character that require a certain policy, and they will have rules or policies that apply only to that area. For example, the King Spadina secondary plan or the Consumers Next secondary plan, and it could have, for example, predetermined height or density. So it's very important to first check if the area has a secondary plan. The third map is actually map number 2, the structure map, and it introduced 2 concepts, the avenues and the centers. Now it's a pretty straightforward map. Here you see the brown lines are the avenues, and they correspond with the mid-rise building guidelines. Map number 4, it's actually an interactive map. It's the heritage register, and it's really important to know not only if there's a heritage building on the property that or the site you're currently reviewing, it could be either listed or registered, but to also understand the immediate context, because that could also have certain implications of height or new shadow that could or could not be casting in that area. Map number 5, it's about transit, and there are actually 2 maps, map number 4 and map number 5 of the official plan, that speaks to transit and transit corridors. And I talk a lot about how transit and density belong together, and transit really is the number 1 justification for intensification. So it's really important to know not only if there's existing transit or anything that is under construction, but what are the plans and where are those transit corridors located, because this is where the city anticipates future transit as well. What I want to show you here is actually the 3D model of the city with the different, the 5 maps that we covered. This tool, by the way, is Ratio City. It's an app that, among other things, allow to overlay the different policy documents or maps of the official plan with the 3D model of the city. And let's take a look at how the 5 maps that I talked about today, how they look when they are overlaid with the 3D model of the city. The first one is the land use map, and we can see how the city, the built form is quite a straightforward reflection of the land use map. The second map is the secondary plans. These are the areas that have secondary plans with unique specific rules that apply to these areas. These are the avenues from the structure map. The heritage register could be either a listed or registered heritage building or a certain area that is designated heritage. And the transit corridors, this layer actually shows the existing and planned transit. And of course, the most important aspect is what happens when we lay over those layers of information together, what we can learn about a specific site. And it's quite powerful to see how these policy documents actually translate into buildings and build form in our city.